So that's why we spent almost 1 year and analyzing the value chain in terms of how to make it efficient, how to make it transparent, how to make it more farmer friendly. And we came up with several IT project in terms of automations, upgradations, and GPRS enablement. And we spent large amount of resources in making the entire value chain more efficient. As a result of that experience, we could achieve very high growth in this producer company, with all 5 producer company making profits. Last year, I was told these producer company have achieved sales of more than 5,500 crore rupees. And all these 5 producer company formed under NDP were 100% owned by the farmers, professionally managed, and they have given employment to 20,000 people, direct employment, benefiting more than 500,000 farmers from 10,000 villages from 5 states. So I felt this was a very powerful model in terms of creating employment and the entrepreneurship, supporting entrepreneurship of the farmers. And I strongly feel, and there are many poverty pockets in India, and dairy is one such activities every farmers, every villager can easily adopt. So it holds tremendous potential in terms of creating employment and the job opportunities. And one such model I personally experienced through NDP in on NDP platform, and I can say that dairy hold great potential in India. Okay, next please. In terms of next please, yeah, job opportunities, what kind of job it can create for the agriculture graduate, and what kind of entrepreneurship opportunities available. I just next 2 slides I would like to cover, share my experiences in terms of entrepreneurship. It also hold great potential because now slowly and steadily I've seen that dairy farmers are getting aggregated, and agriculture graduate can easily either form a group or as individual also can open dairy farms. And there are many government schemes where it can provide subsidy, grant, and training expense. And there is no problem of milk marketing, because in India we have sufficient demand, and whatever milk is being produced is sold comfortably. So there is no problem marketing. So first and foremost, being if it's in terms of entrepreneurship, you can open the dairy farms. Secondly, there are many product of animal product, whether it's nutrition product, whether health product, whether medicine products. So like cattle feed, mineral mixture, liquid calcium, or even the seed. So many agriculture graduates can start their enterprise by becoming either distributor or even by making or manufacturing these product at small scale also. Then across the value chain, there are many points where the work is outsourced. Most of the dairy, they don't create, they own the facility. They rather give it to third party, whether it's a chilling center, whether BMC, or many other there. So they are opportunity for becoming concessionaire of these, private dairies, and you can provide services to the organized private players. And it also holds tremendous income potentials. Similarly, in the transport line also, most of the dairy outsource transport to the third party. And if young people come together and create a transport company, so there are lots of logistics requirement, and this is very specialized functions. Similarly, on the forward side of the marketing side of the dairy business, whether it's taking the distributorship or distributing milk, or logistics, cold chain maintenance. So there also, I feel opportunities are there, and these opportunities are growing in size and number. Okay, next please. And in terms of employment, it's a very long value chain, and as I said, it employs a large number of peoples, and on an average, currently it's like 1 million people are employed, and organized sector is growing, and by one measure, if it become like 50-60%, so it will hold another potential for 10 lakh more jobs in dairy sectors alone. But my own experience of taking care of milk procurement, processing, and marketing, We normally take lots of agriculture graduate because they have relevant the education and the orientations in the procurement side of the dairy business. We normally prefer agriculture graduate because they understand farming, they understand dairy, they understand farmer psychology, and whether it's a milk procurement field officer or route supervisors, or even at the chilling center also, whether it's a technical job or it's a MIS job. So as I said, there are about 14, a number of jobs at chilling center levels. In most of these cases, like we used to recruit more of agriculture graduates, and they do great job. And of course, no need to mention, because beyond that, I'm just talking about entry level jobs. And then there are lots of jobs as you grow in your roles, become more mature, more experienced. Then as a regional, procurement manager, cluster manager, and the procurement head. And procurement is one of the most crucial activities, because 60 to 70%, in any dairy job is basically around the procurements. So that's one area where you can, get lots of opportunity in the organized dairy sectors. Similarly, also like on the marketing side also, we have many people, who are taking care of marketing of milk, whether it's basically creating new markets, serving to existing customers, distributors. So as agriculture graduate, they understand dairy business, they understand agriculture. So obviously, they can tackle, they're more equipped in terms of addressing the customers' problems, milk quality, related issues, or logistics issue. So I think, and there are many areas within the value chain where, if a little bit of training and exposure, you can get good job opportunities. See, biggest problem, is on one hand, when we go and talk to the dairy, they always asking for, more and more people they require. But when we look at the agriculture, universities graduate, so I think they find some, difficulty in initially, first job. So that's basically because the industry, they want trained peoples. Because the moment they hire, they want to put the person on the job. So I think there is some missing link. If my advice to the student is, if you kind of know, apart from the education, you develop some skills while you are there, and one particular skills, because you are studying many things in agriculture. So if you want to study, you're looking for job in dairy sectors, if you have that inclination, orientation, so you just start orienting and start developing some interest and skills. So I think it become easier for you to get job, because industry, they need people who can immediately start. Industry doesn't have that much passion to train, and give spend the time and amounts. Otherwise, I see there are ample jobs, and industry are looking for, across the value chain. So in brief, I can say this industry hold great potential for, agriculture graduate. With little bit of orientation and specializing in particular area, you can get lots of job opportunity. Thank you so much. And I can once starting Priyanka, we can take the question on Mr.
Yeah, sir, we'll keep it at the end, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful presentation. You made us aware with the stats existing in the dairy sector. There exists 85% of the farmers who are small and marginal, and 70% of the milk production is being handled by the unorganized sector. You also apprised about the NDDB model, where you establish the 5 milk producer companies under the National Dairy Plan, and how the deployment of IT could push growth in the producer companies and has added 20,000 additional jobs. And you very well informed the students about the dairy value chain and the jobs existing in this particular across the value chain, and what are the different job opportunities and entrepreneurship opportunities that are available for any person who wish to join the dairy sector. And you also laid emphasis on the skill development requirement for the entry in this particular sector. Thank you, sir, for your wonderful insights. Our next speaker is Mr. Devraj Behra. Mr. Devraj Behra is associated with the World Bank as a consultant under the Global Food and Agriculture Practice since 2015, an expert in agribusiness partnership, agriculture innovation, value chain, climate smart agriculture, eco-agriculture, watershed development, food and nutrition security, and sanitation. He has designed large-scale community-driven development projects of the World Bank in South Asia, Central and East Asia, and Pacific. He is currently establishing local economic development model in the Pacific and has designed large-scale investment projects of the World Bank for improving social and economic empowerment of rural women through community institution development, financial inclusion, and skill development. Apart from this, he has 15 years of implementation experience in the Ministry of Rural Development, Government of India, Department of Rural Development, Government of Bihar, NGOs, and the private sector. Request the participants to mute their mics. He has designed and implemented innovation forums in the format of Development Marketplace and Solutions Marketplace of the World Bank and Young Professionals Program in Asia and Pacific countries to integrate innovations and innovators for the development of rural poor and introduced high quality development professionals to work in the rural development program. He seeded the idea in the government of Bihar to establish Development Management Institute and Irma Like Institute in Bihar. So let's hear out from Mr. Behra. Over to you, sir, and welcome to the webinar.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. Actually, by the time I start my talk, I have sent you the presentation. You can download and you can share that.
Just give me a moment, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ASCII, Mr. Satendra Arya, Mr. Santosh Panda, for inviting me to join this webinar. As Priyanka said, that I'm a speaker, rather I want to learn when the questions being asked. And thanks, Mr. Binod Kausing, to setting the tone for the opportunities and challenges of the agri graduates in this space. That's one of the most important part. I think we need to work and contribute to develop the sector. I think everybody will agree that we are the most relevant sector in the world. All sectors are relevant, but we are the most relevant because we are in the food sector. So that's why our role and our importance is keep on growing every day. We need to be more responsible. We need to be more contributing. We need to be more hardworking. So that's where our relevance will be keep growing, and it will be, even if we don't work, it will continue to grow because our farmers are doing a great and tremendous job in this sector. And they are our real heroes, and we are learning from them, and we are bringing new technologies for their adoption through different means. And agriculture universities, the agriculture students, and our many more institutions within the agriculture framework, that is Krishi Vigyan Kendras, then agriculture technology management agencies, then agriculture department extension workers, and not the least, the rural livelihood missions in the country, in all the states, are contributing a lot for the development of this sector. So just to, this particular topic, which has been, allocated by Agriculture Skill Council of India, that is development models and the opportunities, underlying this.
Request the participants to kindly keep themselves mute.
So that is where the government of India, with support from all the state governments, are investing a lot. And now if you look at the buzzword that the national government and respective state governments are going, doubling and tripling the farmers' income. And now nutrition is another jargon that is coming up. So then if you look at the agri scenario during the COVID, the online e-commerce of agri commodities and agri produce, that has taken a front seat. If the people who are in the cities or the small towns, the online e-commerce providing food, that has come to the front seat. So a lot of investment and a lot of focus is in the food system now and food sector now. So that is why a lot of investment is also coming in this sector. So if you look at till the time Priyanka brings the presentation, let me. Yeah. So the topics that Priyanka has asked me to focus on, that what is the bank's priority and projects on agriculture and rural development. Second is what are the successful models that is existing within the country. Third is that factors that is affecting success of farmer producer organizations and self-help groups. These are the core community institution at the village level. Fourth is the challenges faced in the livelihood sector. Fifth is the impact of COVID on livelihood sector. Then sixth is work ethics for development professionals. So,
Mr. Avinash, kindly mute yourself. And Mr. Hashim. Mr. Avinash, kindly mute yourself.
and some ongoing innovations from existing World Bank projects, opportunities for agriculture and allied students and professionals.
Shubham,
Priyanka,
can you please mute yourself?
Priyanka, could you manage to get the presentation?
Sir, I haven't received yet. Can you run it on your system, sir?
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have disabled.
Just hold on. Is it okay now, sir? Can you try?
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is visible.
Yeah. So the major focus area of the World Bank at this point of time is increased focus on nutrition and food safety. That is, we give a multi-sectoral approach that needs a concerted and coordinated effort. Diversification is the main thing. That's where we come from, and we bring the linkage between agriculture and nutrition, and food safety and capacity building for monitoring, awareness, labeling, and traceability. For example, if you see that now a lot of produce are coming to India and a lot of produce are going abroad. So if there is something problem in a particular product or produce or commodity, let's say pulses, so then you need to know also where this pulses has come from while exporting. So that's the traceability comes from. And we focus on the social safety nets also. Then promoting high quality growth rate. This is our second focus area, and where we create more jobs for the agriculture sector. So agriculture diversification that moves towards high value agriculture and e-commerce or e-marketing. Then agribusiness and value chain development, that's basically commercialization of agriculture and livestock. So that's where everybody now talk about value chain development, agro-industry and logistics. This includes agri inputs as well. Enterprise development, nowadays, lot of rural non-farm economic opportunities that is coming up with the allied of agriculture sector that needs to be tracked. Then skill development for better quality jobs. It is not only limited to the agriculture students, it is also open to the extension workers. They're working in the government, as well as there are a lot of unemployed youth who are interested, now not willing, gradually going to be willing to develop as a agri extension or agribusiness center owner. Then last one is that is the most important, I think, to make us more relevant. We need to really bring more of climate resilience. So that's where a lot of technology and innovations is coming up. Then high efficiency irrigation system, then livestock and fishery support, and weather-based agro services, crop insurance, and improved storage. This last one is the most important, that weather-based agro services and crop insurance and improved storage. These three will help you in terms of growing the sector well. Projects in different states. I have just active and ongoing in India. Chhattisgarh 6 million transformation project NRETP, that is 250 million US dollar. Then integrated project for source sustainability and climate resilient rain-fed agriculture in Himachal Pradesh. Then we have project in smart in Maharashtra, then West Bengal irrigation project, then Odisha irrigation project, then Uttarakhand decentralized watershed development project. So AP integrated irrigation and agriculture transformation project, Meghalaya, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu. So we have currently nearly 5 billion US dollar projects is currently implemented, going on. It is the active projects in the country. So it's nearly 37,474 crore, where the World Bank is investing 3.6 billion US dollar, that is 27,072 crore, and remaining from the respective state governments or national government or any other donor. So this is the area where a lot of livelihood models that is coming up, lot of skill component is embedded within this project. Now, this is one example that we brought it from the global and local lessons, that how the agriculture information delivery, an example on continuous innovation. Because if you look at the extension which gives information to the farmers, so it starts from human to human. Now human to now it has come to the technology level. Initially it is that is SMS based services. Now the farmers are going to watch YouTube for the building capacities. This is a kind of training, and that's where they are. If you look at in the country, what we have done is we have strengthened the public extension system, especially in the lagging and rain-fed regions in the country. So there we have Krishi Vigyan Kendras for research and development and some kind of controlled demonstrations. And we have Agriculture Technology Management Agency that gives the training to cadres, training of trainers, so and also giving the training to farmers. Then we have Krishi Mitra or Kisan Mitra in agriculture department in every Gram Panchayat level. And we have also livelihood missions in all the states where we have community cadres. We call it as village resource persons or community resource persons who are into agriculture, poultry, goat rearing, beekeeping. So those kind of technical knowledge they are sharing and also providing training and demonstrations. And second is that how to bring, monitoring evaluation system. Initially, even in our agriculture sector, we are more focused on the input level monitoring. If the training is given on the right time or not, or the seed is given on the right time or not, or fertilizer is given on the time or not. But we are hardly bothered about the output. What is the production? When we have given so much of inputs, is there any production increase? Is there any productivity increase? Is there any impact? Let's say in one farmer gets 1 ton higher yield. How those outcome and impact can be measured? Is this 1 ton into 100,000 farmers doing the same technology? Can we have 100,000 tons additional production? Can we take this particular technology to 1 million of farmers? So those things has now taking the front seat. So we are moving from input level monitoring to output and outcome and impact level monitoring. Then ICT in extension, as I said earlier, that when now the extension work is providing training to the farmers. Now it is the YouTube is giving the training to farmers. Now a lot of WhatsApp group where the videos are shared, where the farmers see the videos and also learn to implement or adopt the technology or new innovations. So if you see that how we have developed this, we have to customize the technology, then collectivize. Then we have to communitize how the community will adopt. then we have to collaborate for market, then we have to bring the communication technology. So that's where we call it as a 5C model in the bank. So what are the successful livelihood models? If you see that initial concern is that we should look at the food security and nutrition security. So that's where the integrated farming system comes. It includes agriculture, it includes horticulture, it includes poultry, it includes goat rearing, it includes fisheries, even some places it includes pig rearing. So all that comes together as as a part of the integrated farming system. This is always to address the food and nutrition. But when you look at what is the next level, if the food and nutrition security is achieved in few households, not in all in the globe, then we can come to the commercialization agriculture, where we call it as how to increase the productivity, how to mobilize and aggregate the production, then how to we can go for marketing of those commodities. So that is one of the important area where the country is started moving. If you look at the Prime Minister's effort, and the government of India is taking 10,000 farmer producer organizations in the country. So this is now, if you look at the history of farmer producer organization, it started in 2005. So we have 15 years of experience. Maybe we need to learn and work for another 10, 15 years to have a successful model. Then the third point is transformation of saving and credit model. We have in the country nearly 6 million self-help groups. These are the women groups of poor women of 10 members in a group. So we have 6 million. So those groups have been, successfully tried, tested, and India has 40 years of experience. So that's where we are the number one in the world. If you look at we have invested $2 billion in this model since 2005 onwards, sorry, 2002 onwards. And by 2019, when we assess what is the outcome of this model, the total ecosystem output is 45 billion US dollar. So this is the kind of growth that we have seen in the saving and credit model. But it has its own limitation. It is limited to financial inclusion. It limits to economic empowerment. It limits to the social cohesiveness. But when it comes to market, so this model doesn't work in a perfect way that is, earlier expected. So now this model has shifted from self-help group to farmer producer organizations. Then the role of farmer producer organization, it is the organization of the farmers, is called farmer producer companies or farmer producer cooperatives. So mostly in the India now it is farmer producer companies. And this APOs includes the farmers to work for the poor. And the next model that is coming up is the emerging model in the world, that India and Bangladesh, Indonesia, and few parts of Sri Lanka and few other countries in the East Asia are following this. That is agriculture entrepreneurs model. It's not new. When government of India started long back, maybe 15, 20 years or 2 decades back, the Manage Hyderabad, Agri Extension Management Institute Hyderabad, has been given the responsibility, and government of India developed schemes, and where the agriculture graduates is supposed to take some loan and start agri-business support centers in different parts of the blocks or subdivisions, or maybe at the Gram Panchayat level. But somehow our agriculture graduates didn't like this model, so they did not follow this. There are few agriculture entrepreneurs came up, but largely it is not implemented. That's where now the country sees that can we take the unemployed youth in the panchayat or village and develop them as agriculture entrepreneurs. And you are happy to learn that one agriculture entrepreneur who is a 12th pass, or maybe less than a graduate, maybe 10th pass, they are earning an income which is net income of 70 to 80,000 per month. I think an agriculture graduate, when they join an agriculture job in government, I think their gross salary is 50,000. And a 12th standard person who will just receive some training of 3 months as per the approved guidelines of Government of India, they are earning now 70 to 80,000 per month as net income, not the business turnover. And what they are doing, they are just giving training to the farmers, and they are selling fertilizer, they are selling seeds, and they are selling Government of India approved agrochemicals. And more or less their focus is on input supply to the farmers in the market, in the less than market rates. And also few of them have started aggregate the produce and selling in the open market. So that's why this model is now emerging. Currently, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has given $3 million to Syngenta Foundation to develop 5,000 agri-entrepreneurs in Madhya Pradesh and 5,000 agri-entrepreneurs in Bihar. And the next is Custom Hiring Center, is a central government scheme which is given 10 lakhs rupees to a cluster level organizations in 3-in-1 blocks kind of a model. This can be well established at the panchayat level. So this improves the agriculture mechanization. And one of the core areas that we always lack, we don't give interest, or we did not get that ecosystem to work on the seed production by farmers to develop seed banks and to provide quality seeds. This is one area where I think many of the agri graduates can jump into this, and this is going to be the best in terms of the open pollinated seed varieties. And a successful APO site SSGs, I won't take much time here. This is a community-driven development model. Basically, if you have started the work from the village level, it will be successful. The strong community institutions, the country proved itself as self-help group. Now we are moving towards to producer group PG and FPO, farmer producer organizations or farmer producer companies. Always we have to build the capacity of the village people. Like we have to develop extension worker in the same village. When any project ended, at least that local resources remain in the village and keep transferring knowledge and information and technology to farmers. Then equip the cadres with information technology incentive. Nowadays, information is the only thing which everybody knows it is powerful. So if you have smartphones or tablets with the extension worker, and they will be provided with timely information, and they should be given incentive, and that should be market driven. If there is the production increase, then they will get actual incentive. If there is no production incentive or no income enhancement for the farmer, there should not be an incentive. So it is a win-win strategy for the community as well as the community cadre. Then establish linkages with financial institutions, just like our banks, financial institutions, microfinance institutions, and market players. Like we have our different big buyers like Big Basket, or we have Tatas, we have ITC, who are buying a lot of commodities for their own consumption. So we have to establish linkage for our farmer producer organizations to ensure financial inclusion, so that they should access credit at right interest rate, and they should move towards commercialization of agriculture, that is economic inclusion. And the last one, which is most relevant for this webinar, is high quality, young and talented, relevant professionals to support. Basically, the participants, if I believe, Priyanka, that all are agri graduates. So we always respect that we need high quality professionals, and those professionals should be young. Just like, passing out 4 years course, they remain young, and they should be talented, and they should have passion. They should have dream to, work in this sector. So that's the most important part of this slide, or the entire presentation. I should say that the agriculture graduates should think themselves they are high quality professionals, they're young, and they're talented. And they are the most relevant because they have the knowledge. It may be agriculture, it may be fishery, it may be agriculture engineering, it may be veterinary science, so it may be forestry. So anything that it may be dairy technologies, no issues. And this is the challenges. So we have unpredictable climate. Everybody know we are working the climate change. Sequencing and timing of activities. If you see that sometimes the fertilizer comes late and the crop grows harvested early, and sometimes right match of human resources. I have seen that agriculture graduates not being so interested in working in the farmer field. They don't like to get into the field to do the transplanting or sowing in the beginning to learn. So we have non-agriculture graduates, they are working in the agriculture sector. That is the right match. It's a challenge. Understanding of livelihood sector with special focus on agriculture and allied sector. So basically this understanding is a
hello.
this is most important, that we eat everyday food, but we don't understand what is agriculture. The specific focus on agriculture and allied sector, that requires the most important. They completely depending on the externalities in terms of physical input and physical output selling. Even the supply chain, even the market, even the climate, even the weather, everything is not in our control, it is external. Then again, it is for the students. All students, study, learn, get good grade points, but it is applied science, it's not theoretical. Whatever you learn is fine, fantastic, but what you have done, have you applied in your career or in your job? This is where you need to really learn that this is the only sector which will grow you wherever you want to go. But you need to have patience, you need to really apply this. That's where we always fail. We think that we are agriculture graduate, don't need to get into the field. No, you have to get in the field. You have to do the transplanting, you have to do the land leveling, you have to do the sowing, then only you can learn. And by just studying the textbooks, and you cannot give advice or something like that. COVID impact is same as over, that is market slowdown, extension slowdown, training slowdown, fear among staffs for rapid spread of infection, black marketing, market price of commodities. I don't want to get into this. Then work ethics of development professional. This is one thing where probably the participants or the audience will really learn. This is something you need to learn while you work. At the initial level, you are not going to work for money. No, you are learning for the first, then you are contributing. Once you learn, because it is applied science, it's not theoretical. Then the third step comes, you have to continue with efficiency. That is something we always lack. We run away from our one job to other and leave behind nothing, that we do not have any legacy that we leave behind. So yeah, the agriculture graduates to continue with efficiency. Then only they can develop high quality livelihood models. And they need to have patience to see results. For example, you have transplanted rice, or you have sown the wheat seed, or you have developed an orchard. Please wait to see that where your work has shown the results, where your production has increased, or your the grain that is being produced because of effort has gained good income. But we don't wait, we just leave and go to another job. So that's I think ethics is not the right word, but it is the constraint in the sector. Little understanding and sustainability. Sometimes they don't feel that staying in a village or panchayat or a block to work on agriculture. That's the thing, that I have done my work for 1 to 2 years and I need to leave. So the sustainability part is completely missing. It's not possible to understand in short span of time, and unable to get the bigger picture while implementing. They think that I am working in one GP or one block, but have you ever seen that your technology is adopted by 1 lakh farmers? If every farmer gives 1 ton, so you are additionally producing 100,000 or 1 lakh ton of paddy to the food basket of the national government. So we don't see the bigger picture. We don't want to see that. And that's the best part. We sometimes we don't learn to struggle. And if you struggle, you will enjoy your achievement. If you don't struggle, you don't enjoy your achievement. And actually, Priyanka has said also to share that what are the opportunities for agriculture students or professionals. So in my career, I see that first 5 years, the professionals of agriculture graduate, irrespective of development sector or agriculture sector or private sector, wherever you are going, either it is agri input or agro output, please work for at least 5 years in implementing at the village or gram panchayat at the block level, so that you will be expert in how to implement one activity or new seed adoption or climate smart agriculture or sustainable agriculture or vermicompost, NADEP, seed production. So at least you require 5 years of time at the village, gram panchayat, block level to learn while working. Then second 5 years in collaboration, coordination. First one is implementation, second is coordination. Whatever you have done in the block level for, let's say 40, 50 villages, can you do at 4 to 5 blocks in the next 5 years? Can you do the coordination? Can you do the developing implementation plan while at the district level? The third 5-year plan should be at the state level. This is the management role. Can you do that for managing district, designing projects, new investment, developing policy notes, developing standard operating procedures, influence state government or national government for policy, influencing new policy to bring in or modify policy which is being implemented in the field. And fourth 5 years at the national level, managing state, and next is international or regional level. So this is, some of my work that I have brought in. So transplanting, this is I have done in Chhattisgarh. Then the next picture where I have engaged for transplanting wheat in system of wheat intensification. So that I myself has done it. So that's how I learned. And the next picture is I am signing the memorandum of understanding with Bihar Agriculture University. So Sabor to sign an MOU to undertake the railway component of the all students come and do their railway component in a World Bank projects. And the next picture where I am, I am giving the information and teaching rather to the World Bank president in Patna. And this is where I am, speaking in a country called Cambodia, and I am with the Prime Minister of Cambodia in the next picture in the down. And this is in the West Africa, and this is I'm getting a certificate. So that's how my career journey is. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your enriching presentation. You apprised us with the key priorities in the agriculture required in the agriculture and rural transformation, how focus on nutrition and food safety, how high value agriculture value chain, and most of all, skill development is required for better jobs and opportunities. You also told us about the 5C model: customize, collectivize, communitize, collaborate, and communication, and how the system is moving from input level to outcome level monitoring. Then we also have seen the successful models like integrated farming system, SHG, the transition of SHG to FPO, custom hiring, agriculture entrepreneurship model, and other things. We also got to know the challenges existing in the sector and the opportunity that lies for the agri students in this livelihood sector. Thank you, sir. Thank you once again for this wonderful presentation. Now the floor is open for the question and answers. You all can post your questions in the chat box. So you can stop sharing. The first question that we have received, basically the person is asking what challenges the underprivileged face in sustaining their livelihoods and micro enterprises, whether it is a lack of skills, knowledge, resources, or opportunity. Sir, both of you can answer, Mr. Vera and Mr. Kaushik.
Yeah, Devraj, you would like to just take a chance on that.
First of all, during our study in agriculture, we are limiting ourselves to crop production, that is CP1, CP2 in agronomy that we do. But nowadays, I think there is a lot of opportunities that are coming up where the agriculture students are exposed to industry visits. So probably, those kind of visits can be more strategically placed where they can go to see the, agri startups as well as the, new industries like dairy industries, how a chilling plant runs, how a processing plant runs, how the milk is being procured. It is not limiting to only veterinary graduates, but agriculture and allied graduates go and see that. Same can be done for the fishery, same can be done for the agri companies that is coming up, who is also working in this space in terms of, let's say, how commodity is being produced and stored in the warehouse, and how it is being, sold in the open market. Similarly, how the, farmer extension models have been evolved over a period of time. So where basically technology has taken a front seat in providing the short message service through SMS or WhatsApp or Telegram or any other social media platform. So that will help the agriculture graduates to learn the skills that this space has a lot of impact. Probably, limiting the students with the theoretical science is sometimes lacks the skills, because they are always limiting themselves to textbooks and getting the grade point, rather than if they can be allowed, or new skill development programs can be also allowed within the course structure, by where ICAR can take a front seat to restructure those kind of models. And I think that will be a great opportunity for agriculture students to learn, and after passing out, at least, or during their study in the third or fourth year, maybe they will have some kind of develop some kind of passion and love towards agriculture and working in different important spaces, which is the current focal point of the agriculture sector. That's where I want to stop.
Our next question is related to what is the working in the development sector like? How challenging is this sector for any entrants in this particular sector?
You mean to say development sector means non-profit, or it's because in development sector normally we also know basically talk about a non-profit sector. So if we is it you want to know about development sector, or
Yes.
it's okay? See, it's any sector in India, it's challenging. Nothing is easy. It's very, very challenging and difficult. Especially civil society all over the world are facing great difficulty of survival and sustainability. India alone, 500,000 NGOs has closed down. So it's not so easy, because unless we change our ways of doing business, because there used to be time when people used to go and work and come back in the evening, and they were not like accountables. But now the any investor, whether government, private, international, philanthropy, they want to give they deploy the resources, and they expect a result in a time bound manners. So civil society has to undergo a lot of changes in terms of corporatize their culture, and they deliver result in a time bound manner in a given budget. So on one hand, we need to change. I mean, this sector need to undergo a lot of changes, and if the sector embrace changes and adopt this modern culture, scientific management styles, then it holds tremendous potential for the professionals and young professionals, or even because the cost of manpower is going up in India. And there are a lot of challenges also, from like CSR has come in a big space, because a lot of people those who used to work with civil society has now, they find much better and remunerative salaries and facilities with CSR. So job opportunities are there in development sector, but NGOs, apart from NGOs, now we have more options, like with whether it's a CSR, multilateral or bilateral organizations. So that way it's challenging, but opportunities are there. There's no doubt about that.
Thank you, sir. We have exceeded the time, so I'll take one last question, sir. What is the role of private sector in the livelihood promotion? What has been the role of the private sector, sir, so far?
Okay, I think even, and I can just see there is no doubt about that. Now the large number of jobs are in the private sectors. If you look at the MSME itself, 60 to 70% jobs are with the private sectors. And private sector is always ahead of any other organized sector in terms of creating employment and entrepreneurship opportunities. So private sector, like in dairy also, I talked about dairy today. So there also now it's slowly the size of the organized sector in dairy. Private sector is growing. They have already surpassed more than 50%. Like normally the NDDB and our effort used to be that in the organized sector, NDDB and private should remain 50-50. so that there is a healthy practices. And because cooperative and NDDB led organizations, they kind of set the benchmark in terms of pricing, procurement pricing, and other things, and that organized player has to follow that. But so we are now seeing a lot of private enterprise which have come up and which are leading now, and they are creating employment opportunities. They are giving lots of entrepreneurship opportunities. And I feel in open market economy now, increasingly dairy sector especially, large number of multinationals are showing interest to come to Indian market. Indian corporate also showing a lot of interest in opening up their business in dairy sector. So I feel this sector hold great opportunity for employment and the self-employment opportunities.
Thank you, sir. Anything you would like to add, Mr. Bera, on that?
Yes. No, before closing, I think, this is the sector where if we look at our own investment, which is nearly $3.63 billion in the country, I think most of our projects are either implemented by agriculture department or horticulture department or water resource department or irrigation department or forestry department or rural development and panchayati raj department. So if you see that out of 7 departments, I said 5 are from the agriculture and 2 like rural and panchayat, it's anyway linked to agriculture. So if you see, the opportunities for the agri graduates are in the 5 departments. That's normally government implement through agriculture professional, whether they are contractual staffs or the direct staffs. And in most of the projects, like in Bihar, I have developed a livelihood specialist position. So per block 1 position, that is 534 jobs just opened like that. And similarly, in most of the projects, we have the agriculture graduates requirement. Because the agriculture graduates are not joining, so we are a little bit scared of that. If we put agriculture graduate as a mandatory criteria, then we may not get enough staffs to work for the project or implement the project. So that is why we had to just put something at BSc agriculture or rural development professional, so that at least we can fill the vacancies, because agriculture graduates are not interested to join such kind of positions. If you take back my story, when I started my work in a panchayat level in Bori Panchayat in Madhya Pradesh district, Jhabua district, Madhya Pradesh. Now I stayed in a panchayat for 2 years with no electricity. So, and where I am right now. So it's basically, that's the learning that I brought in. When you stay in a village and really implement, you know that when the community wakes up and when the community goes to bed to sleep, and you understand their livelihood pattern, agriculture pattern, everything that you learn. And those learning, I said that initially any graduate, maybe specifically agriculture graduates, should learn. And today I'm working in the Asia and Pacific region in the most renowned organization in the world, that is World Bank. So probably if you see that there is a lot of opportunities, I think there is countless, you can say that there is infinite opportunities in this. I should not say it is development sector. You can say any sector like corporate, private, banks, or development sector like rural development projects or World Bank projects or agriculture projects. I think numerous opportunities are there. It's basically the students should come and join, but they have to be really stay for at least 3 to 4 or 5 years time to at least learn, and they know next level where to go. They should not live in between to to make loss both to themselves as well as the organization. That's where I want to stop. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. With this, we now conclude the session. My heartfelt thanks to the speakers who took out their valuable time to share their thoughts and experience. I'm also thankful to the audience for their participation. So once again, thank you all, and be safe, be healthy.
Thank you. Thank you, Priyanka, for conducting it very nicely. And thanks everybody for patient listening. Thanks, Devraj, my co-panelist. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinod sir. Thank you all. Thank you, Priyanka.
Thank you.
Audience are really very disciplined. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.